subscribers the best 2018. I hope what you need, what you desire, comes to you. And isn't that funny? Because you start the week with the Nine of Cups, the wish fulfilling card. So just give me a minute to tune in. Your additional guidance card is to the sea. So this would be the same as, the Six of Swords cards. It's a transition card. The difference, this is obviously a major, and there's no oars in this boat. So there's a sense of emotionally being guided and flowing forward, which is really interesting because your crowning card is the King of Cups. This can be a person. This is a person in your life. Traditionally, it's one of the water signs, but it's not about that. It's about the energy of emotion and love. It's the water element, okay? So I think it's safe to say to the Sea card and this King of Cups that there's a theme of emotions and relationships, and maybe even if it's not relationships, it's about how you relate to your own emotional world. Okay, Capricorn, such an important part of us, our emotions, because that is how the universe speaks to us. It speaks to us through love, through our emotional world. Very, very beautiful crowning energy. At the bottom of the deck, you do have the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is traditionally quite a defensive card. It's meant quite a different energy recently. Sometimes what it seems to be is people are getting it when they are being called to own their fire, own their boundaries, own their sense of having strong personal rights and owning the right to be treated in a certain way. This might be an emotional issue that some of you might have turned a corner and you want to be treated in a certain way. One interesting thing about this King of Cups is because of what's going on around him, he becomes a king because he no longer fights what is. Okay, that's how you become a king and a queen. You have this sort of depth of awareness to accept reality as it is currently in your life. Okay, so I'm not sure if that means anything to anyone. So you do start with the Nine of Cups and the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords is a retreat card. It's about building energy, building your resources. Quite often it means maybe some Capricorns are really tired. But it comes with the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is that wish fulfilling card. It's emotional happiness, dreams coming true. It's about your heart chakra, essentially. So with the Four of Swords, I'm not too sure. Maybe there's two different energies going on through the day. Maybe you're having a good day, but you're retreating in the evening. But both these cards are working in together. Okay, maybe some of you have been overindulging over the holidays, and there's a need to heal a little bit and to get a little bit of rest from it all. Because this feeling of being a little bit protective continues with the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is, again, it's traditionally people say it's about standing up for yourself, standing by what you believe in. Again, it's got a much more deeper esoteric meaning, which is behind this door is your vast inner world. It's your heart, it's intimacy, and there might be someone and you're not really sure whether to let them in or not. You're standing a little bit guarded. So I never class this as a negative card, because I think we all need that guardian on the threshold. It's we need to have healthy boundaries, essentially. And maybe this is what this card is saying. Only you, the viewer, knows what this means. But personally, I wouldn't let anyone into my inner world. It's not that I don't have this King of Cups quality to people, to everyone, if I can, love and kindness. But around my inner sanctuary, I tend to be the Seven of Wands energy. So you can class that as a negative if you want, or Capricorn, you can look and go, actually, I think having a little bit of a guardian in your inner world is actually a positive. But again, it's up to you how you define the cards and how you understand the cards. It comes with a Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands is an opportunity card. Sometimes it represents having a few decisions to make, because all the oranges represent seeds that have grown potentially into choices. But there's one choice stands out amongst the other, okay? And maybe there's a sort of decision whether to follow this choice or not. And that's why you're a little bit uncertain. So this could be a person and you're not really sure of them. It could be a new creative opportunity and you're just contemplating because that Seven of Wands can also mean that you're guarding your energy. Have you got enough time to pursue a new creative project, a new job, whatever this opportunity is? It tends to be quite an optimistic, joyful little card, that Page of Wands. I've never really seen it representing anything difficult, but absolutely loads of fire. And you know, there's no way around it, Capricorn. You're definitely being asked to own boundaries, okay? But again, I'm not going to say it. If that's a negative or not is really, 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 really open to debate. And it all depends on your individual circumstances. Sometimes that Nine of Wands can be my PSD card. Like, I've been hurt before, I'm not wanting to be hurt again. So maybe keep that in mind, that might be a potential. Especially because, right, looking at this 9 in this page is the King of Swords, okay? Now, what I'm going to say, Capricorn, before I do your reading is, I love the King of Swords, okay? He's as some of you know me, that I study yoga, that would be the King of Swords, okay? The ultimate mastery of your mind. If this is someone you're in a relationship with, we're talking about a bit of a different ball game here, because this is someone who can be quite very, very standoffish, actually quite cutting, okay? You know, I have to be truthful, because I've been working with quite a lot of relationship crises this month. And it's the King of Swords who keeps coming. He can be quite narcissistic. So he just cuts off, doesn't relate. And I don't know what to say. But maybe this is who you're having to guard against, this energy. Maybe you're trying to protect your heart. Now, for some Capricorns who are involved with someone who's got both these elements going on, oh my gosh, no wonder you're confused. Because one minute they'll be coming forward and then they'll be retreating. It's mind-boggling. And maybe that's why some Capricorns have been like this. Shall I or shan't, will I or won't I? Who is this person? Because they might change. One minute they're the King of Cups and then they go into the King of Swords. I don't know. I just have to say that because I've even worked over, I've been working all month with this dynamic. Anyhow, this King of Swords, but I have to say I love this guy. Look, he's got a crown. He's the higher mind. He's someone who's overcame that limited sense of self. He would be, you know, he's got a crown. He's got his throne. He's no longer controlled by that small ego mind that tries to control, that separates, that divides us. So for years of this is not a relationship issue. There's a huge personal mastery around your mind and your emotions. It's like you're very deeply centered in your own being, which is the best place to be, Capricorn, because everything in life springs from there. All the good, everything comes from being happy in your own kingdom, like these two kings, and it comes with the Ace of Wands. So Ace of Wands is a burst of new life, new potential and new growth, a bit like this page. So I think it's safe to say some Capricorns have got new opportunities. Very, very creative. Don't forget, it's the wand, which is your backbone, spinal energy, moving up your spine. It's about potential that wants to be realised, opportunities that want to be grasped, creative, vibrant, alive. You know, really quite exciting. It's this king that's baffling me, okay? Especially if this is a relationship issue for some of you. It's a really confusing picture, okay? Now, you end with the Eight of Cups. Now, this Eight of Cups has been appearing for about the last couple of weeks for someone who's hearing a calling, okay? It's not been about walking away from anyone. There's no death. There's no ending. It's about hearing a calling. Now, that calling can be absolutely anything, okay? I'm Capricorn Ascendant, remember, for you who know me. And my calling this year is inner peace. That's my calling, end of. So something's calling you forward. It's a spiritual thing. All of you know, Saturn's gone back home into Capricorn. We're all being asked to rise up, to realise that potential, to step up into personal mastery. The Eight of Cups tends to be a spiritual quest. He's dressed in purple and gold, higher mind, and he's going into the night. He's going into the deep unknown in order to find the two missing cups. Okay, so it's not a... Sometimes it can mean about walking away, but it doesn't tend to mean it, especially not recently. It's about someone who's hearing a calling, and that calling is really powerful. And interestingly enough, it's coming with the Devil card, so it's coming with Saturn. So this transit into your own sign. Remember, Capricorn's a sign of spirituality. Saturn is the same, okay? It's the threshold we all need to cross in order to get to the higher planets. The universal love, universal mind. We all need to cross the gateway of Saturn. That's how Saturn gets a bad rap, because it doesn't let us through easily. So there's some spiritual quest here, Capricorn, for you. And it's about transforming and burning through something. And what we're burning and transforming is going to be different for every single person. It might be a relationship someone leaving behind. It might be, you know what I'm really hoping? It's a sign of being, it's what you're leaving behind, Capricorn, is a feeling of being held down and oppressed, because this is your time. This is your 2.5 years. Black Lilith is also in Capricorn. That rise to power, and not power over, power within. I'm quite interested what you've been called to leave behind, and it's not giving anything away. It's just giving me the Chariot. Full steam ahead. Absolutely fascinating reading. And this isn't about a relationship. This is about personal mastery. Two kings, that spiritual search, that Ace of Wands, that backbone being absolutely activated, and all our potentials